The black ships moved through space like hunting wolves. Commander Thex moved his 6 fingers across the control panel. His purple skin glowed softly in the dim light of the command room. The Velkari Empire had sent 12 scout ships to study this new solar system. They had done this many times before. Find a planet with smart beings, count their weapons, report back to the main fleet, then watch as the Empire took over another world. Thex looked at the blue and green planet spinning, slowly ahead of them. It was the 3rd planet from the yellow star. His sensors showed cities, roads, and flying machines. The beings on this world called themselves humans. They looked weak. 2 arms, 2 legs, soft pink skin, no claws, no thick armor, no poison glands. How did such soft creatures survive? "Commander," said Captain Vel beside him. Her red eyes studied the data screens. "The planet shows signs of basic technology. They have split the atom. They use radio waves. Their ships burn chemical, fuel." Thex nodded. This sounded normal. Most species they found were like this. Simple tools, small armies, easy to defeat. The Empire had conquered 847 worlds this way. This would be number 848. "How many ships do they have?" Thex asked. Vel checked her instruments. "Early scans show maybe 50,000 small craft. Most stay close to their home planet. A few travel to their moon. Some reach the red planet nearby. 50,000 ships. That was more than usual, but not dangerous. The Empire's main attack fleet had over 1 million ships. Each Empire ship was bigger and stronger than anything these humans could build. This would be another easy victory. What about weapons? Thex wanted to know everything before they reported back. Basic missiles, simple lasers, some kind of explosive devices that use splitting atoms. Vel's voice sounded bored. Nothing we have not seen before. Thex smiled, showing his sharp teeth. Nuclear weapons always impressed new species. They thought splitting atoms made them powerful. The Empire had weapons that could crack planets in half. These humans would surrender quickly when they saw real power. "Begin deep scans," Thex ordered. "I want to know exactly how many ships they have. Check their moon base. Look at the red planet. Count everything." The scout ships moved closer to the human solar system. They stayed hidden behind their invisible shields. The humans could not see them or detect them. This was always the best part, watching prey that did not know it was being hunted. Tech Specialist Kor worked at his station. His green tentacles moved over several control boards at once. "Commander, I am getting strange readings." "What kind of strange?" Thex moved to look at Kor's screens. "The humans have more ships than first estimated. I count 75,000 now." "Wait." Kor's tentacles moved faster. 80,000, the numbers keep growing. Thex felt a small worry in his stomach. "Check your equipment. Maybe the sensors are counting the same ships twice." Kor ran tests on all his machines. Everything worked. Perfectly. "No errors, Commander. The humans really do have this many ships." Vel looked up from her station. "I am seeing the same thing. More ships around their gas giants. More ships in their asteroid belt. They are everywhere. 80,000. Ships was unusual. Most species had maybe 10,000 when the Empire found them. But 80,000 was still not dangerous. The Empire could handle that easily." "Keep scanning," Thex said. "Get exact numbers. Check what kinds of ships they are." Hours passed. The numbers kept growing. 90,000. 100,000. 110,000. "This cannot be right," Vel said. She sounded worried now. One species on one planet does not build this many ships. Thex studied the data. The humans had ships everywhere in their system. Small fighters, medium destroyers, large carriers. They had mining ships with weapons. They had cargo ships with armor. Even their civilian craft carried missiles. "Maybe they fight each other," Kor suggested. "Some species build many ships because they have wars on their own planet." That made sense. Humans might be violent toward each other. That would explain all the ships, but it also made them more dangerous. Species that fought among themselves often became very good at fighting. What about their technology level? Thex asked. Vel checked her analysis programs. Commander, this is strange. Their technology is not as simple as we thought. Their ship engines are advanced. Their weapons are sophisticated. Their armor uses materials we do not recognize. Thex felt the worry grow stronger. Advanced technology and lots of ships meant trouble. Maybe this would not be as easy as they thought. How advanced? He demanded. Close to our level, Vel admitted. Maybe equal in some areas. The command room went quiet. In all their conquests, the Empire had never found a species with technology equal to theirs. Every other race had been centuries behind. Weak weapons, slow ships, primitive defenses. Run full scans on everything, Thex ordered. I want to know about every ship, every weapon, every base they have. And I want it now. The scout fleet worked through the night. Their powerful sensors reached deep into human space. They mapped military bases on planets and moons. They counted space stations and defense platforms. They analyzed weapon signatures and ship designs. As dawn broke on the human planet below, the numbers kept growing. 150,000 ships, 200,000, 250,000. Commander, Kor's voice shook. I think our sensors are broken. The count has reached 300,000 ships. Thex ran to Kor's station. He checked every sensor personally. All equipment worked perfectly. The readings were real. 300,000 ships, he whispered. How is this possible? Vel looked pale. Her red eyes were wide with fear. Commander, I am finding more bases, more fleets. The humans have ships hidden in asteroid fields. They have secret bases on dead moons. They have weapons platforms floating in empty space. The humans were not what they seemed. Behind their soft appearance and simple planet was a massive military force. 300,000 ships was more than many Empire sectors had. This single species, on this single world, had built a fleet larger than most galactic civilizations. What are they defending against? Thex wondered aloud. Why does one species need so many ships? Nobody had an answer. The humans seemed to be alone in their part of space. No other intelligent species lived nearby. No enemies threatened them. Yet they had built the largest fleet any of the scouts had ever seen. Continue scanning, Thex said quietly. We need complete information before we report this to High Command. But deep inside, Thex knew this mission had changed. They were no longer scouting easy prey. They had found something unexpected, something that might be strong enough to fight back. The human planet spun peacefully below them. Its soft-looking inhabitants went about their daily lives. None of them knew that alien scouts watched from the darkness. None of them knew that their secret was being discovered. But soon both sides would learn that first impressions could be very wrong. Major Deho sat in the Deep Space Monitoring Station on Earth's moon. His job was to watch for anything unusual beyond the solar system. For 20 years he had seen nothing but rocks, ice, and empty space. Today felt different. Sir, called Sergeant Minho from his sensor station, I have something strange on the gravity detectors. Deho walked over to look at Minho's screens. The displays showed 12 small spots near the edge of their solar system. The spots were too regular to be natural, too organized to be random. Space debris. What do you think they are? Deho asked. Minho adjusted his controls. Unknown objects. They appeared 3 days ago. They hold position beyond Pluto's orbit. They do not move like asteroids or comets. Deho felt his heart beat faster. As a soldier, he knew what organized objects in space usually meant. Ships. And ships meant visitors. Possibly unwelcome ones. Get me Colonel Su-Yung at Luna Command, he ordered. Within minutes, Colonel Su-Yung's face appeared on the communication screen. Her serious expression showed she understood the importance of the call. Report, Major, she said. Ma'am, we have detected 12 unknown objects at the edge of our system. They maintain formation and position. Possible artificial origin. Colonel Su-Yung was quiet for a moment. Every human soldier had trained for this day. First contact with alien life. The moment humanity would learn they were not alone in the universe. Are you certain they are not ours? She asked. Confirmed, ma'am. No human ships are scheduled for that area. Deep Space Command has no missions beyond Jupiter this month. Have they detected us watching them? Minho checked his instruments. Negative, ma'am. Our sensors are passive only. No active scanning. They should not know we see them. Colonel Suyong nodded. Good work. Continue monitoring. I'm alerting General Hyunwoo immediately. General Hyunwoo commanded all human space forces from Mars Command. He was a careful man who had spent his life preparing for this moment. When Colonel Suyong's message reached him, he already knew what to do. Activate First Contact Protocol 7, he told his staff. All commands are to prepare defensive positions while maintaining normal operations. No one acts without my direct orders. Captain Ji-won received the alert aboard the Deep Space Patrol ship Incheon's Pride. Her ship was one of 50 vessels that patrolled the outer solar system. They were humanity's first line of defense against unknown threats. Helm, adjust. Course toward the outer markers, she ordered. Engineering, prepare to go to silent running mode. Her ship moved quietly through space. Advanced engines produced almost no heat signature. Special hull coatings made them nearly invisible to most sensors. If aliens were watching, they would see nothing. Lieutenant Wanho worked at the sensor station. Captain, I have the unknown contacts on long-range detection. 12 ships, definitely artificial. Technology level, unknown. Ji-won studied the tactical display. The alien ships held position in a perfect formation. They were clearly watching Earth and its surrounding planets. Their technology allowed them to remain hidden from most detection methods. Analysis? She asked. Advanced stealth systems. Sophisticated sensors. Ship designs unlike anything in our databases. They appear to be conducting surveillance. Ji-won understood the situation. Aliens had found Earth. They were studying humanity before making contact. This could mean peaceful exploration, or it could mean preparation for attack. Back. On Earth, Admiral Sun-hee coordinated the global response from Pacific Command. Military leaders around the world received encrypted messages. Fleets throughout the solar system went to quiet alert status. Status report, Admiral Sun-hee requested. Mars Defense Command reports ready, her aide announced. Jupiter Station confirms defensive positions. Asteroid belt mining fleets have armed their platforms. Luna Military Complex is at full readiness. Admiral Sun-hee looked at the massive display showing human forces throughout the solar system. Thousands of ships, millions of personnel, weapons platforms on every major moon and asteroid, all waiting for her orders. What about the outer colonies? She asked. Saturn Defense Fleet confirms ready status. Uranus Mining Consortium has activated emergency protocols. Neptune Research Station is fully armed. For 3 centuries, humanity had been preparing for this day. Early scientists had calculated that intelligent life probably existed elsewhere in the galaxy. They warned that any species capable of traveling between stars would also be capable of war. So humanity had built defenses, not just around Earth but throughout their entire solar system. Every human settlement, from the smallest research station to the largest industrial colony, maintained its own military force. Captain Taeyeon commanded the Intelligence Analysis Center on Earth's moon. Her job was to study the aliens without revealing human capabilities. What can we determine about their technology? Admiral Sun-hee asked her. Advanced, ma'am. Their stealth systems are excellent. Their ship designs suggest experience with space warfare. They know how to stay hidden while conducting surveillance. Numbers? 12 ships. Standard reconnaissance. Force size. Probably part of a larger fleet elsewhere. Admiral Sun-hee considered this information. 12 scout ships meant a larger force was coming. The aliens were not just exploring, they were preparing for something bigger. Recommendations? She asked. Captain Taeyeon had studied alien contact scenarios her entire career. Ma'am, they are watching us to determine our military capabilities. Standard pre-invasion reconnaissance. They want to know how hard we will be to defeat. The command center went quiet. Everyone understood what this meant. Humanity's first contact with aliens was not going to be peaceful. It was going to be war. How long before they complete their assessment? Admiral Sun-hee asked. Unknown, ma'am. Depends on their sensor capabilities and how much they want to learn. Admiral Sun-hee made a decision that would change human history. Prepare defensive revelation protocol. If they want to see our capabilities, we will show them exactly what they are dealing with. On the patrol ship Incheon's Pride, Captain Jiwon received new orders. Her ship and 49 others were to position themselves for a surprise appearance. Let the aliens know that humans were aware of their presence. All stations, prepare for decloak maneuver, she announced. We are going to introduce ourselves to our visitors. Lieutenant Wanho checked his systems. Ready, Captain. Stealth systems can disengage on your command. Engineering, bring us to full combat readiness, Jiwon ordered. Weapons online, shields at maximum, engines ready for emergency acceleration. Across the solar system, similar preparations took place. 50 ships prepared to reveal themselves near the alien scouts. 1,000 more ships moved into supporting positions. 10,000 additional vessels stood ready for immediate deployment. The aliens thought they were watching primitive humans. They were about to learn that humanity had been watching them in return, and that Earth's defenses were far more extensive than any alien scout could imagine. All ships report ready, Lieutenant Wanho announced. Captain Jiwon looked at the alien, formation on her tactical display. In a few moments, those aliens would discover that their secret observation mission had become something very different. Execute decloak on my mark, she said. Let us see how they react to meeting the human race. Commander Thek stared at his sensor displays in disbelief. The numbers had reached 400,000 human ships. His purple skin had turned pale with shock. This was impossible. No single planet species had ever built such a massive fleet. Run the scans again, he ordered Tech Specialist Core. Check every sensor, verify every count. Core's green tentacles moved frantically over his controls. His 3 eyes focused on different screens at once. Commander, I have run diagnostics 17 times. All equipment functions perfectly. The humans really do have 400,000 active military vessels. Captain Vel looked up from her station with fear in her red eyes. Commander, it gets worse. The deep penetration scans show hidden fleets, ships concealed in asteroid belts, weapons platforms disguised as mining stations, secret bases on dead moons. Thex felt sick. 400,000 ships was more than most sectors of the Velkari Empire possessed. How had one species on one planet built such a force? What about their technology analysis? He asked weakly. Equal to ours in most areas, Vel reported. Superior in some designs. Their weapons use unknown energy types. Their armor incorporates materials we have never seen. The scout fleet had been watching the humans for 5 days. Each day brought new discoveries. Each discovery made the humans seem more dangerous. What had started as a routine scouting mission was becoming a nightmare. Maybe we are missing something, suggested Scout Leader Nex from another ship. His voice came through the communication system. Maybe they bought ships from other species. No, Core said firmly. Manufacturing signatures show human origin. They built everything themselves. Even more surprising, production continues. They launch new ships every day. Thex tried to understand. The Velkari Empire controlled 47 star systems. They had been building their fleet for over 1,000 years. Yet these humans, limited to one solar system, had somehow created a fleet nearly half the size of the entire empire. How is this possible? He muttered. Vel had been analyzing human history records intercepted from their communication signals. Commander, I think I understand. The humans have been fighting wars among themselves for thousands of years. They never stopped building weapons. She brought up holographic displays showing human history. Look at this. Wars on every continent, battles in their skies, conflicts on their moon. They fought each other constantly. The displays showed humans developing better and better weapons. First simple tools, then chemical explosives, then nuclear devices, then energy weapons, then space combat systems. They learned to fight by fighting each other, Vel continued. Each human nation built weapons to defend against other human nations. When they reached space, they continued the same pattern. Thex studied the historical data. So they built military forces to fight themselves? Exactly. And when they stopped fighting each other, they already had massive military industries. Instead of dismantling them, they expanded into space. Every human colony built its own defense fleet. This was terrifying. The Empire conquered species that had lived in peace for centuries. Peaceful species were easy to defeat because they had little experience with war, but humans were different. They had been perfecting warfare for millennia. What about their current military organization? Thex asked. Cure accessed more intercepted data. Highly distributed, Commander. No single command structure. Each planet has its own fleet. Each moon base controls its own ships. Each space station maintains its own defenses. That should make them easier to defeat, suggested Nex. Divided forces are weak forces. Not in this case, Vel disagreed. Their distributed structure makes them impossible to decapitate. You cannot defeat them by conquering their capital because they have dozens of capitals. You cannot destroy their fleet because they have hundreds of separate fleets. Thex realized the awful truth. The Empire's standard conquest strategy would not work against humans. The Empire always struck fast at the enemy's main fleet and capital city. Quick victories that forced immediate surrender. But humans had no single point of failure. They were organized like a swarm of insects. Cut off one part, and the others continued fighting. Destroy their home planet and their colonies would seek revenge. Continue deep scanning, Thex ordered grimly. I need complete numbers before I report to High Command. The hours passed slowly. Each new scan revealed more human ships, hidden squadrons in the outer planets, secret weapons platforms in empty space, mobile bases that moved constantly to avoid detection. 500,000 ships, Core announced. 550,000. 600,000. This cannot be real, whispered Nex over the communication channel. One species cannot build this many ships. But the sensors did not lie. Humans had done what no other species had ever done. They had militarized their entire solar system. Every rock, every moon, every planet hosted military installations. Commander, Vel said urgently, I'm detecting movement in the inner system. Human ships are changing positions. Thex looked at the tactical display. Throughout human space, military vessels were moving, not randomly but in coordinated patterns. They were organizing for something. Do they know we are here? He asked with growing fear. Impossible, Core replied. Our stealth systems are perfect. No species has ever detected our scout ships, but Vel was studying the human ship movements more carefully. Commander, these movement patterns, and they look like defensive preparations. For what? For an attack. The humans are positioning their fleets to defend against invasion. Thex felt ice in his blood. How could they know? Maybe they do not know about us specifically, Vel suggested. Maybe they always maintain defensive positions. A species that fights constantly would always be ready for war. That made sense, but it was still terrifying. Humans lived in a constant state of military readiness. They expected attack at any moment. They had spent centuries preparing for exactly this situation. 700,000 ships, Core reported. 750,000. 800,000. Stop, Thex commanded. Do not count any higher. I cannot report numbers like this to High Command. But the scanners continued automatically. The numbers kept climbing. 850,000. 900,000. 950,000. 1 million ships, Core whispered. The Scout Command Center went silent. 1 million active military vessels. That equaled the entire might of the Velkari Empire. And the humans had built it all in one solar system. How many beings do they have? Thex asked weakly. Vel checked population scans. Approximately 12 billion on their home planet. 2 billion more scattered across colonies and space stations. 14 billion humans supporting 1 million military ships. That meant one warship for every 14,000 citizens. The Empire had one ship for every 50,000 citizens. They are the most militarized species in known galactic history, Vel concluded. Thex knew he had to make a decision. Protocol. Required reporting back to High Command immediately. But these numbers were so unbelievable that High Command might think the scout fleet had malfunctioned or gone insane. Prepare a message drone, he ordered. Full data packet. Every scan, every count, every analysis. What should the message say? Asked Korthek's thought carefully. How do you tell your superiors that you have found a species that might be stronger than your entire empire? Tell them we have found something unprecedented, he said finally. Tell them the humans are not what they appear to be. Tell them we need the entire War Council to review this data. And our recommendations? Vel asked. Thex looked at the human planet spinning peacefully below. Those soft-looking beings had built the largest military force in galactic history. They had done it quietly, efficiently, and without anyone noticing. Recommend extreme caution, he said. These humans may be the first species we cannot conquer. Admiral Sunhee stood in the main command center of Pacific Defense Headquarters. Around her, dozens of officers monitored screens showing human forces across the entire solar system. For 6 days, they had watched alien scouts study their civilization. Now it was time to respond. All outer patrol ships report ready, announced Captain Teon. 50 vessels in position to decloak near the alien formation. Mars Defense Command standing by, reported another officer. Jupiter fleet prepared for immediate deployment. Saturn group ready to move. Admiral Sunhee looked at the massive tactical display. It showed the true scope of human military power. 2.3 million active ships, thousands of bases, millions of trained personnel, all hidden from alien eyes until this moment. What is our assessment of alien intentions? She asked. Captain Teon consulted her intelligence reports. Ma'am, their behavior matches standard pre-invasion reconnaissance. 12 scout ships, systematic scanning, hidden observation. Classic military intelligence gathering. So they plan to attack us? Most likely, ma'am. Their pattern matches. 8 other species we have studied. All were conquered by larger alien empires within 1 year of initial contact. Admiral Sunhee had read those reports. Humanity's deep space exploration had found the remains of destroyed civilizations. Planets, stripped of resources, cities turned to glass, entire species enslaved or eliminated. Not this time, she said firmly. Signal all commands. Execute Revelation Protocol. Across the solar system, human forces received their orders. It was time to show these aliens what they were really dealing with. Captain Jiwan received the signal aboard her patrol ship. All stations, disengage stealth systems. Bring us to full combat readiness. The Inchan's pride shimmered and became visible. Around it, 49 other ships did the same. Suddenly, 50 human warships appeared near the alien scout formation. Lieutenant Wanho watched his sensors carefully. Captain, the alien ships are reacting. They have detected us. Good, Jiwan replied. Open communication channels on all frequencies. Let them know we want to talk. But Admiral Sunhee had other plans. Revealing 50 ships was just the beginning. She wanted the aliens to understand the full scope of human military power. Phase 2, she ordered. Deploy the outer system fleets. Throughout human space, massive formations of ships began moving. The Jupiter Defense Fleet consisted of 150,000 vessels. They had been hidden behind moons and asteroids. Now they emerged into open space. The Saturn Ring Guard added another 100,000 ships. They had been concealed within the planet's ring system, pretending to be ice chunks and rock fragments. The Uranus Deep Patrol contributed 75,000 vessels. They had been stationed in the dark spaces between planets, running silent and cold. Even the distant Neptune Research Fleet added 50,000 ships. They had been disguised as mining equipment and scientific instruments. General Hyunwoo coordinated the massive deployment from Mars Command. Current visible count is 425,000 ships, all formations maintaining defensive positions, but this was still only a fraction of human strength. The real power lay in the inner system fleets, the forces that protected Earth, Mars, and the asteroid colonies. Execute Phase 3, Admiral Sunhee commanded. The Mars Defense Force revealed itself next. 300,000 ships emerged from behind the red planet. They had been hidden in the vast canyon systems and polar ice caps. The Asteroid Belt Mining Defense Corps added another 200,000 vessels. They had been camouflaged as mining equipment and cargo haulers. The Luna Military Complex contributed 150,000 ships. They had been concealed in craters and underground facilities on Earth's moon. Current visible count is 1.07 million ships, reported Captain Teon. We are now showing more military vessels than most galactic empires possess. But Admiral Sunhee was not finished. She wanted these aliens to understand that what they had seen was still not everything. Phase 4, she ordered. Reveal the home. Defense fleets. The largest human military formation began to appear. The Earth Home Guard consisted of 800,000 ships of every size and type. Massive dreadnoughts that could crack moons. Fast destroyers that could chase down any enemy. Carrier vessels holding thousands of fighters each. The Solar System Patrol added another 300,000 ships. They had been stationed throughout human space, ready to respond to any threat within hours. The Deep Space Exploration and Defense Corps contributed 200,000 vessels. These were humanity's most advanced ships, designed for long-range missions and first-contact situations. Current visible count is 2.37 million active military vessels. Captain Tyon announced, all ships are now visible and operational. The command center fell silent. Even the human officers were impressed by the sight of their own complete military strength displayed at once. Admiral Sunhee looked at the tactical display with satisfaction. Signal all ships. Maintain defensive formations but do not take aggressive action. Let our visitors see what they are dealing with. On the alien scout ship, Commander Thex stared at his sensors in complete shock. 2.3 million ships. The humans had revealed a military force larger than the entire Velkari Empire. This is impossible, whispered Captain Vel. No single species can build this many ships. The scanners do not lie, replied Tech Specialist Kor. His voice shook with fear. 2.37 million active vessels, all armed, all ready for combat. Thex realized the awful truth. The humans had not just built the largest military in galactic history. They had built it specifically for defense. Every ship, every weapon, every base was designed to protect their solar system from invasion. Analysis of their formations? He asked weakly. Perfect defensive positioning, Vel reported. They have created overlapping fields of fire throughout their entire star system. No invasion force could approach any planet without facing concentrated attack from multiple directions. What about their technology levels? Equal or superior to ours in every category, Kor confirmed. Their newest ships show design principles we do not understand. Their weapons use energy types we have never seen. Thex understood that everything had changed. The Velkari Empire had built their strength by conquering weaker species. They had never faced an enemy with equal technology and superior numbers. Can we defeat them? He asked quietly. Vel and Kor exchanged glances. They ran quick calculations on their computers. Even if we brought every ship in the Empire, Vel said slowly, we would face a 2-to-1 disadvantage against opponents with equal technology and superior defensive positions. The humans also showed tactical sophistication, added Kor. Their fleet formations indicate centuries of military experience. They know how to fight. Commander Thex made the hardest decision of his military career. Prepare for immediate retreat. Send an emergency message to High Command. Tell them we have found something that changes everything. What should we tell them? Asked Vel. Thex looked one last time at the human fleet display. Millions of ships arranged in perfect defensive formations. A species that had spent centuries preparing for this exact moment. Tell them we have found the first species that might be stronger than we are, he said. Tell them the age of easy conquest is over. The alien scout ships began to retreat, but they left behind something more valuable than they knew. They had shown humanity that they were not alone in the galaxy, and that their centuries of military preparation had been exactly right. War was coming. But now the aliens knew that humanity was ready for it. Commander Thex watched his fleet retreat from the human solar system. Behind them, 2.3 million human ships maintained perfect defensive formations. The sight would haunt him forever. In 40 years of military service, he had never seen anything like it. Message drone launched, reported Tech Specialist Corps. High Command will receive our data in 18 days. What about our recommendations? Asked Captain Velthex looked at the final sensor readings. The humans had not pursued them. They had not fired weapons. They had simply revealed their incredible strength and waited to see what the Velkari would do. Recommend immediate strategic reassessment, he said. These humans are not like any species we have encountered. They are prepared for galactic war. The scout fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed. They left the human system behind, but they carried knowledge that would shake the foundations of the Velkari Empire. 18 days later, the message drone reached Velkari High Command. Emperor Zephon read the report in his private chambers. At first, he thought the scout fleet had malfunctioned. The numbers seemed impossible. 2.3 million ships from one species on one planet. Technology equal to Velkari standards. Perfect defensive positions throughout their solar system. Military experience gained from centuries of warfare. Summon the War Council, Emperor Zephon commanded. The greatest military minds in the Empire gathered to study the human data. Admiral Corvin, conqueror of 30 systems. General Vexus, destroyer of the Andorian civilization. Fleet Commander Nexus, victor of the Centauri Wars. This intelligence must be wrong, declared Admiral Corvin. No single planet species can build such a force. The scout reports have been verified, replied Intelligence Chief Zelda. All sensor data confirms the human military numbers. They really do have over 2 million active warships. General Vexus studied the tactical analysis. Their defensive formations are perfect. Multiple overlapping coverage zones. No blind spots, no weak points. They have turned their entire solar system into a fortress. What about their technology? Asked Fleet Commander Nexus. Equal to ours, Zelda admitted. Possibly superior in some areas. Their newest ship designs show innovations we do not understand. Emperor Zephon listened to the debate. For 1,000 years, the Velkari Empire had grown by conquering weaker species. They had developed the perfect strategy: scout, assess, overwhelm, conquer. But the strategy only worked against inferior opponents. The humans were not inferior. What are our options? The Emperor asked. Admiral Corvin spoke first. We could attempt conquest with our full fleet. 1.2 million ships against their 2.3 million. In their defensive positions? General Vexus shook his head. Attacking a prepared defender requires at least 3-to-1 advantage. We would need over 7 million ships to guarantee victory. We do not have 7 million ships, Fleet Commander Nexus pointed out. Even if we recalled every vessel from every occupied system, we could not achieve those numbers. Intelligence Chief Zelda offered another perspective. Perhaps we should consider the humans as potential allies rather than enemies. The War Council fell silent. The Empire had never formed alliances. They conquered or they ignored. The concept of equal partnership was foreign to them. Allies? Emperor Zephon asked. Yes, Majesty. A species with this much military power could be useful. Instead of fighting them, we could work with them, Admiral Corvin protested. The Empire does not make alliances with inferior species. But the humans are not inferior, Zelda replied. They may be our equals, or even our superiors. Meanwhile, in the human solar system, Admiral Sunhee convened her own strategic meeting. Representatives from every major human military command attended via secure communication. Assessment of alien capabilities, she asked. Captain Teon provided the intelligence analysis. Advanced technology, sophisticated ships, military organization suggesting a large empire. Their scout tactics indicate experience with conquest. Numbers? Unknown, but likely substantial. Scout forces this advanced usually represent major civilizations, possibly millions of ships. General Kyung-min from Mars Defense spoke up. Ma'am, our revelation protocol was successful. The aliens saw our strength and retreated without hostility. Perhaps they will choose to avoid conflict. Or perhaps they will return with more ships, suggested Admiral Bay from Jupiter Command. Admiral Sunhee studied the strategic projections. Either way, we are as ready as we can be. 3 centuries of preparation have led to this moment. She was right. Humanity had been building toward this confrontation since their first steps into space. Every war they had fought among themselves had taught them lessons. Every ship they had built had made them stronger. "What about diplomacy?" asked Colonel Moran from Luna Intelligence. "We remain open to peaceful contact," Admiral Sunhee replied. "But we do not trust easily. Any species that scouts before making contact is planning for war." In the depths of space, both civilizations faced the same realization. They had found their equals. For the Velkari, this was unprecedented and terrifying. For humans, this was expected and manageable. The difference lay in their histories. The Velkari had grown strong by conquering the weak. Humans had grown strong by fighting each other. The Velkari were apex predators who had never faced real resistance. Humans were battle-tested warriors who had been preparing for this fight their entire civilization. Back on the Velkari homeworld, Emperor Zephon made his decision. "We will not attack the humans immediately. Continue monitoring their system. Look for weaknesses. Develop new strategies. And if we find no weaknesses?" asked General Vexus. Emperor Zephon had ruled for 300 years. He had overseen the conquest of 47 worlds. But he was not foolish. He could recognize when the Empire faced something beyond their current capability. "Then we adapt," he said finally. "The Empire has survived for millennia by being stronger than our enemies. If we cannot be stronger than the humans, we must find other ways to deal with them." Admiral Corvin was shocked. "Majesty, are you suggesting we avoid conquest of this species?" "I am suggesting we choose our battles carefully," the Emperor replied. "The humans have shown us that not all species are easy prey. Perhaps it is time to learn new strategies." On Earth, Admiral Sunhee received reports of alien withdrawal. The scout fleet had left human space and not returned. This could mean retreat, or it could mean preparation for a larger attack. "All commands will maintain current readiness levels," she ordered. "We showed them our strength, now we wait to see how they respond." Captain Jiwan remained on patrol at the edge of human space. Her ship and dozens of others watched for any sign of alien return. They had won the first encounter through superior numbers and defensive positions, but everyone knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was larger than one solar system. If these aliens controlled multiple star systems, they might have resources humanity could not match. "Ma'am," reported Lieutenant Wanho, "long-range sensors detect no alien activity. They appear to have withdrawn completely." "For now," Captain Jiwan replied. "But they know where we are. They will be back." She was right. In the depths of space, both civilizations prepared for what would come next. The age of easy conquest was over. The age of real warfare was about to begin. Humanity had revealed their strength to the galaxy. Now they would learn if it was enough to keep them free. The aliens had discovered that not all species were helpless prey. Now they would decide if humans were potential allies or necessary enemies. The first contact was complete, but the real test was still to come.